G'day. So today I was going to show you how to make a quick, easy bushcraft project. It's pretty useful. A baton or a mallet. So we just had a pretty big windy storm recently, and a lot of trees fell down, and this gum tree fell down. So I thought I'd put good use of it. You want to use green wood, and you need it to be, around a fist sort of thickness. So you either wait for a storm or just, I don't know, use a noxious weed. You don't want to go cutting down trees for no reason. So just keep that in mind. Now you want a section that's about, like I said, fist thickness and around 3 fists wide. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So the reason why I want that is we want a section here for your hand and another longer section up here. Now this method will save you a lot of carving work, but you do need a saw. So let's go ahead and show you that. So the thinner section you want to be the handle area. So you want more of the weight up towards the top. Now measure again with the fist. So we'll cut about there. Gives you a bit of an indication. Now we're going to cut around here, like so. What we're doing is creating multiple stop cuts. So if we go in about the full width of the saw all around, like that, it's going to give us a little area here. And you want the handle to be, I don't know, around the diameter of like a 20-cent coin. You don't want to be too thin, but you don't want to be too thick where it's harder to grip. So I'm going to cut, remember, check the depth. So I'm going to cut around about the full depth of the saw, all around in a circle. I'll just get started on that. Now if you cut it too shallow, that's okay, you can always cut it deeper, but you don't want to cut it too deep because then the handle won't be strong enough, won't be thick enough. Okay, so now I've cut around the circumference of this piece of wood, all the way around, pretty equal depth. And now we're just going to use a knife to baton down and down to the stop cut. So you don't want to use too hard a wood for this because it's not good to be batoning really hard wood with a knife. You want a nice thick knife, preferably full tang. A lot of the cheaper Moras that aren't full tang, they work well for this, but anyway, here we go. So now we're just going to need just a relatively thick piece of stick or wood, and that's just going to be to hit the back of our knife. So I'm going to take the knife, we'll put this vertical on the ground, the bottom's quite flat so it'll sit nicely. Sort of guesstimate where we made our cut to. Don't overestimate it because you don't want to go past the stop cut. I'm going to hit the back of the knife here, like so. Now once we've got it part way in, I'm going to hit the tip of the knife. Okay, this is going to be a bit tricky because it's a smaller knife, so once we have hit it down like this, we're going to hit the tip, and it's a bit hard on this knife because it's so little, like so. Just move it across, just hit the tip. If we can get the tip down like that, and you see it stops at the stop cut. So I didn't go in very deep. One, I don't want to go too deep and then cut past the stop cut, in which case the whole thing will split open. I don't want that. And also the knife is quite, it's not very long. So same thing again, sort of in like a square shape. So push it across, so I've got the tip sticking out, and we hit it down again. That. You see, it saves a lot of carving work doing it this way. Now you can see what's starting to happen. Going around in like a square. So now this one we can do a bit deeper. So we have the space for our knife. So hitting it so, till it's fully penetrated the wood, and we start hitting towards the tip. So again, hitting the knife, back of the knife, like so. Now hitting towards the front of the knife. You can see how quickly that takes off bits of wood. And now we've sort of got a square handle. It's not very comfy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the knife sort of on the points of the square. See the point of the square, and we'll put it like that, and we'll cut off these little sections. Again, same thing, hitting on the back of the knife. Now we're hitting towards the tip. This part of the square. So. Alright, and there you have it. And there you have it. Now we have a mallet. So, probably took 4 minutes to make, pretty quick. Now it's a little bit rough here. Now for this part we can just sort of use the knife and sort of make it a little bit more round so it's more comfortable in the hand. You see, with this method there's very little carving that goes on, and I've seen people when they first start bushcraft, they actually will carve the whole handle out of a big piece of wood, and it just takes ages. Anyway, knife away. So we have a mallet. Now this is great for a lot of things. It's good for hammering tent pegs, it's good for batoning like we're just using this stick for, except this will be much better for making more batons or making things like tools and spoons and stuff like that. I suppose you could even use it to dispatch an animal if you had to. And I use mallets like this to build a lot of my bushcraft shelters. So very handy tool, pretty quick to make, very useful. And I kind of like how it looks. Feels good in hands, good weighted. You know, and just hammer things down nicely. Now you leave the bark on, the bark will start to wear away, but it'll last quite a long time, especially when it dries out. It'll be a lot harder. And yeah, great little tool. Hope you enjoyed that and learned something. Quick way to make a baton on mallet, just with a good strong knife and a saw. And as you could see, that was a pretty small knife I used, which just meant I had to do a few more little cuts, but still very quick way to make a mallet. Thank you, see you next time. I'm Charlie from Self-Sufficiency Down Under. See you later.